Masters of the Planet is an ongoing one-hour documentary series in development that examines the operations and processes that have evolved to supply the world with the resources and technology that shape our lives. The continuing development of technology has made it possible for mankind to overcome almost every obstacle we've encountered, while increasing our perceived security and creating an unprecedented quality of life. Since the beginning of time, man has had a fascination with the grandiose. Ever building bigger and bigger, it is an inherent human trait to continue pushing the limits. This is how we have evolved and become masters of the planet. People, viewers, want to know where the products we use come from, who the individuals and corporations involved are, and what the resulting impact is: environmental, social, political, and economic. Each episode of Masters of the Planet will have two objectives. First, the sheer size of each operation and the enormous effort required to develop each resource will be demonstrated. Second, the actions that are being taken by corporations to minimize environmental impact will be detailed to give viewers an accurate representation of what industry is doing to ensure sustainable development. The first episodes will focus on raw materials, oil and gas, minerals, gemstones, and precious metals. The series will then evolve to illustrate the numerous other ways in which we have become masters of the planet, including alternative energy, construction, agriculture, communications, transportation, and technology. The pilot episode for Masters of the Planet was shot at Caminco's Sullivan Zinc and Lead Mine in Kimberley, British Columbia. Until the mid-70s, all operations within the Sullivan Mine were undertaken with conventional mining techniques, the miners using handheld rock drills to make the long holes, which they would load with dynamite. After blasting the rock, the ore would be loaded and sorted by hand. In some areas of the Sullivan, the ore spreads out in thin angled veins. Accessing these areas with today's modern but cumbersome mechanized equipment would be counterproductive. So conventional drilling and scraping are the preferred techniques used to recover the valuable ore.
My name is Barry Martin, and I'm a conventional miner working in the open stopes at the Sullivan Mine, and it's in the ore body about 10 feet high, 25 feet wide, and an average of 200 feet long. Right now we're scraping and getting ready to set up to drill.
Barry adjusts the controls on the 3-drum electric winch to maneuver the shovel that scrapes the ore. The work progresses slowly. Once the loose rock has been pulled down to a point where it can be loaded, the miner will climb back to the top of the stope, where he will drill and blast, starting the cycle again.
Well, I blasted here on Thursday. And now I'm just bringing the ore down from the top side, getting ready to drill again. Like after lunch, we'll be drilling again.
Each of these rail cars holds an average of 12 tons of muck. Every day, 10,000 tons, over 800 rail cars of muck are mined, crushed, and moved from the Sullivan to the concentrator 4 miles away. Each car is mounted on a 360-degree rotating coupling. When the ore arrives at the concentrator, the cars are emptied 5 at a time into a 4,000-ton live storage bin, turned upside down with the power of super heavy-duty air compressors. From here, the ore will move on to the concentrator, where the economic minerals will be liberated from the rock. In 1919, Caminco pioneered a new technology dubbed differential flotation at its Trail smelter. Simply put, The lighter waste rock floats on top of the heavier fluid, with the super dense ore sinking to the bottom, where it is retrieved and sent on for further processing. The ore leaves the sink float facility and is moved by conveyor belt to the grinding circuit. Starting with a 1,000 horsepower rod mill, the ore progresses through a total of 14 ball mills, each grinding the ore into smaller and smaller particles until it is a consistency finer than beach sand. When mining began at the Sullivan, nobody knew the effects the process would have on the land and the environment. By this time, millions of tons of waste rock had accumulated at the concentrator area. Acid and heavy metals seeped into the waterways, creating an environmental disaster. The most evident impact was the discoloration of stream beds by iron staining. The result was horrific, but Cominco reacted quickly, excavating and disposing of the 300,000 tons of acidic waste in the active tailing area and rebuilding the creek to its natural state. Cominco will invest approximately $65 million at the Sullivan, reclaiming the land, one of the largest reclamation projects in North America.